derived from the burning of classified documents. It has its own shopping mall. It has its own metro station, its own bus station, its own taxi stand, its own police force, its own fire department, its own ambulance squad. It is a city in itself, basically. There's some 6,000 people who work in the building on an average weekday. And the building was built on, construction started on September 11th, 1941, finished in 42. And since then it has been the home to the Department of Defense. And over here to your right, you're going to see the helipad is just above this area where trucks have to go through their security screening before they can offload their deliveries. On the other side is the sign where the plane went in on September 11th. And if we come by here sometime during the week, we may see all of these parking spaces full. Today it's Saturday, they just have the crew that is needed for emergencies here. This is Arlington National Cemetery. We're going to drive the entire length of the cemetery to get up to Iwo Jima. This looks like an ordinary wall. Actually, the wall actually has niches in it for burying cremated remains. The cemetery they expect to be full by 2070. And up there is Arlington House. That is the former Lee Mansion. And I'm just trying to see if we can see poking out behind the tree the Tomb of the Unknowns. Unfortunately, I can just barely make out the top of the flagpole over at the Tomb of the Unknowns. But we'll be coming back to Arlington on Tuesday to visit, of course, the Tomb of the Unknowns and the Kennedy gravesite. And, of course, we're now driving the entire length of the cemetery. Because to get to Iwo Jima is on the other side of Arlington. It is faced on a famous photograph by Joe Rosenthal featuring 5 Marines and a U.S. Navy corpsman raising the flag on the volcanic island of Iwo Jima. Actually, I forgot, we're on the other side of the memorial, so we're going to be there a little bit sooner than I thought we would. Iwo Jima was a volcanic island. The Japanese knew we were coming. So they went ahead and they poured men. They never surrendered. By the time we raised the flag on Iwo Jima on February 1945, we didn't have total control, but we had enough control. 3 of the Marines who were killed, who were on the statue, were actually killed and are buried on Iwo Jima. The remaining 3 came back. If you've read the books Flags of Our Fathers, or seen the movie, directed by Clint Eastwood, it tells the story that they came back. In the meantime, Felix D. Wilden was in the United States Navy. He needed a small model of the memorial, or what was going to become the memorial. The Marines loved it. They started a fundraising campaign. They started construction on it. They went ahead and they got all of the Marines together that were there. They modeled for D. Wilden. They got all of the details down packed. And the memorial was dedicated on November 10th, 1954. Of course, that's the founding date of the United States Marine Corps, dedicated by, of course, the Supreme Commander himself, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Off to the left, you can just get a good glimpse at Arlington Cemetery. You're buried and look like a unit of soldiers at attention. Over to our left, as we come in here, is the Netherlands Carillon. It is a gift to us from the Netherlands for liberating their country from World War II. Usually it's much prettier. A few weeks ago they had the tulips. Now you get to see the remnants of the tulips. But it is Sunday morning. We may actually be able to hear them playing the bells, possibly. They usually play them here on Sunday afternoons. So it is possible we may hear that. You see this big apartment building back there? Among other things, one of the more notable celebrities living in there is the former Secretary of State, Colin Powell. And this is the Marine Corps Memorial. What we're going to do, we're going to drop off on one side of the memorial. Randy's going to go race around and park the bus on the other side to pick us up. And he'll give you a chance to get off and get as many pictures as you like. But also turn to your right. You're going to get a beautiful picture postcard view of Washington, D.C. as well. And I do see bus number 1 is offloading.